No, I'm back. All right, this is Robert with another Turn in the Dirt podcast. Tonight we got Jon Weaver with Rude Awakening. Hey, John, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, pretty good yourself. How are you doing?
We're just doing all right. So
Perfect.
we're coming off a big weekend up at Burlington with the truck you call Rude Awakening. That was a pretty awesome night you had up there. You were able to win that.
Yeah, I'm still not quite sure how or if I want to believe that, but yeah, somehow we managed to do really good.
Yeah, I didn't have the opportunity to stand there and watch the 3.0 class like I normally somehow manage to try to do, but I was running laser and I got to see your run, and I looked up and I'm like, that looks really good.
Yeah.
But before we get too in depth in that, tell us a little bit about your truck. What year is it? What motor are you guys running?
It's a 2001. We're running the Dormax yet. There's not a whole lot of people who do that anymore, it seems. Bought the truck, I'm going to say probably about 2011-ish. And, a street truck, and then you need, do injectors and then turbo, and then you want to pull, so then, it just keeps snowballing along.
Yeah. Did you start out as a 3.0 truck, or did you move up through the ranks as like
I did not. Yeah, I had started, well, I didn't start with street. I had started with a stock appearing turbo, probably about 2012, a couple hooks on that, and then, it looked cool to make more power, so we put I believe it was an HX60 on that we had laying around, 2.6 map groove charger, and played with it for a while. And then it still looked like more fun to keep on bumping up through the classes, so here we are.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say one thing that happens a lot is when you're doing this polling game, a lot of people start down in a work stock class or a street class or whatever it may be, and they work themselves up through the ranks. Josh Bordas, he's another one of my favorites. I like to watch pull, and he's 2.6 smoothbore now, and looks like he'll be heading to 3.0 here shortly, he keeps saying.
Yeah, so. It sounds that way. I think very few trucks actually, the owners, very few of them actually intend to end up in the upper classes. It just kind of snowballs along. You're fixing a problem, so you fix like a fueling issue or something, and then, well, now you should have more air because you have bigger injectors, so put a bigger turbo on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, I know you've been working really hard this year at getting that truck up and going, and you were right on that edge of it wanting to take off and go down that track and really get it done, and then you'd come into a little bit of a glitch. Your season hasn't been the easiest, has it?
For sure. We keep messing with stuff, and then we try something and it doesn't work, so you lose a couple feet, and well, that ain't good, so you go back to the way it was and switch something else out for a little bit, and you got to test everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
As far as the gearing and the tire pressures and what style tire you even want to run, and everybody will get there eventually. It just takes a while sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been pulling for quite a few years now, and the track is a huge factor for you guys, obviously.
Massive.
What's some of the first things you do? You're coming in there with that 3.0 truck, and you're like, what are some of the first things you do when you get to a pull? Is checking out the track one of the top things you do, or? Pretty
much, yeah. If it's a real tight track, you don't want to run too tall of a gear, or you're going to snuff at the end. And if it's a little looser, you want to put the fastest gear you have and drop some tire pressure and hope that it works.
And that's just stuff you don't learn overnight, is it?
No, I'm not sure I learned it to this day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun to watch you guys pull, because I tell you what, that 3.0 class has numbers and competition the whole way through. I mean, it is really a good class right now.
Yeah, it's an awesome class. Good guys, lots of fun.
Yeah. So, Chuck, you and Chuck have been running to neck and neck there for a little while as far as trucks and consistency was going there, and you're the first Duramax to win in that class this year.
Yeah, I know. I feel kind of proud. No, not really. I mean, it was definitely an awesome feeling. I'm hoping, working with, Chuck there, he's having a little bit of issues, it seems. So I'm trying to give him, figure out, because I went through some issues a couple of years ago. So I thought maybe he's having some of the same ones. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, yeah, and it's great that you guys can come together and help each other get that figured out. So.
Oh, absolutely. Just because, what's that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just because I had bad luck, doesn't mean that he should be having bad luck. So, if I have stuff laying around that would help him out, absolutely he can use it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So your tires obviously play a big factor in there too. And I noticed everyone runs a little bit of tire setup, different tire setup there, and
Yeah.
I noticed your truck. You run a little bit mix and match going on there.
Yeah, dude. It's because STSs are real hard to get a hold of right now. I managed to find 4 for the back, but we're still working on finding 2 more for the front. And Kervin Zimmerman had some all-terrains laying there, so we decided we'll try them. And they seem to be working out half decent, but I still think STSs might do a little bit better.
Yeah, it's awesome. Again, there's another puller in your class helping each other out. And I noticed you and Kervin, if Kervin's truck pulls in or your truck pulls in, the other one's not far behind.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's friendly competition there. He's running the Cummins setup in the Dodge body, and you're running the Duramax setup there in the Chevy.
Yep.
The Cummins has had definitely a lot of people have done the trial and error on that and got it figured out. I think
For
it's
sure.
a little easier to do that on the Cummins now than the guys that are doing the V8 power, the Power Stroke and the Duramax. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, for sure. The Duramax was definitely brought out a couple years later, so still playing with it, seems.
Yeah, and you got decent power going out of it. I mean, like I said, you laid down a very nice pass.
Yeah, I still can't believe how I managed to pull that one off. But
yeah, a lot of stuff going through your head yet for that one, huh?
Yeah, I was test hooked, so I wasn't sure if I should keep it. I mean, it felt real strong, but I had absolutely nothing to compare it against. And so I had been sitting there at the beginning, right before I went to pull, and they were adding weights to the sled, and the packer and scraper guy made a couple extra passes on the track, and I figured, it's going to be packed about as good as it's going to get, and I might as well just keep it if it feels good, and it felt good, so I kept it, and I'm ever glad I did.
Yeah, I have a philosophy. If the sled's set and I had a decent pass when I'm pulling myself, I say, I'm just going to keep it because I think you lean more, unless you're Norman Newswanger, you lean more to lose footage than to gain footage.
It seems that way.
I always say you don't give Norman Newswanger the second shot at it because he'll put another 15 foot on it.
He always pulls something out from somewhere and goes an extra 10, 15 feet.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So, what's your favorite tracks to go to? I mean,
I don't really have any favorites, to be honest.
Yeah.
If there's a bunch of guys there, it's a good track for me.
You're just out for the good time of it, right?
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. And the events this year are obviously down. I mean, we all know this year has been a very weird year with COVID-19 kicking in, and I know I bring that up a lot in my interviews with people, but it's been an off year.
Very.
If it wouldn't be for S&S Pulling Series and the crew up there wouldn't be a point series to even have for a lot of pullers this year. And it's just cool that, from your standpoint, what's it like to pull for an organization that's able to pull something like that off on this type of year?
I think it's awesome. I mean, I was just telling the guys, if it wouldn't be for Smoke and Speed, we'd be sitting at home most weekends. It's just awesome that they're able to do that for us and, give the spectators, all those people something to do. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and there's one thing I always say. It takes a lot of things to make a tractor pull happen. But it takes 3 things. It takes a crew, pullers, fans, and I should say four things, sponsors to really make this happen. You know, it takes a lot of time and dedication from the pullers. You know,
For sure.
you're working. I know you work full weeks out of the state, actually, correct?
Yep. Right now we're working in Connecticut, so I leave early Monday, come home late Friday night, then quick try and get everything ready to go Saturday morning. And
So
but
you can't afford, your truck going down because you ain't got the time to put it back together, really.
yeah, it makes it. Yeah, time's figured pretty tight anyway for the most part.
Yeah, and it's like I always say, the whole pulling world, the whole pulling family up there with S&S pulling series is very blue collar. Everyone's working for a living. The techs aren't there to make their paycheck for the week.
Right.
The pullers aren't there to collect a big fat sponsorship check and live off of that. The fans are there to support you guys, and it's just awesome when you see a whole place like that erupt because of a good pass down the track, whether it was a street truck, a semi, a tractor, whatever. The pulling world is awesome, and my goal here with all this stuff is to help grow it. There's a lot of people out there that don't know what it feels like to be a part of that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the pulling family is like probably the most awesome family around, pretty much. I mean, everybody pitches in, helps, does what they can to make awesome events for everybody else. And, if someone breaks, everybody tries to help them out. It's just awesome.
Yeah, it's a great feeling to know that's out there.
Yeah, very.
And speaking of that, we threw another event together for you guys. We got Weeklands this weekend with the Weeklands Garage and in Chest Springs, PA. Show's going to start at 5. You got big plans for that?
I'm planning on being there, and I have some stuff to fix on the truck from last weekend, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem, I hope, fingers crossed, and I should be able to be there.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a good time. One thing I do like about pulling is being able to go to different places. Like I said before, this year's been a little hard for that because of everything going on. And
very true.
We're going to get into Weeklands here, and I guess we're going to see what we got going on.
Perfect. Sounds like a fun time.
So, we had, 17 guys in the 3.0 class this past week?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, 17 guys in that class, and I think you're going to see most of these same guys there again.
Yeah.
People like Jay and Clint, they're heading down to is it not Louisville? They're headed to
Shelbyville.
Shelbyville. They're heading to Shelbyville to that pole down there.
Yep.
So some of the heavy hitters in the class are not going to be around this weekend, but it goes to show you don't count out the guys that were having a little bit of problem, because you got you and you got Walker's. Yeah, Curvin's truck's no slouch. By all means,
yep.
The 3.0 class right now, I think hands down, is the biggest class on the east side here as far
I
as
believe
trucks
so.
go. I mean, it is huge. Numbers are great. The power's there. The crowd loves it.
Yep. And yeah, like you said, it's anybody's ball game. I mean, everybody gets lucky every now and again.
Yeah, that's the truth. So, I know you're a busy guy. I don't want to keep up a whole lot of your time tonight. Any future plans for the truck? You're foreseeing the season's coming close to an end. Any big changes that might be coming on, or?
Not a whole lot, no. I think we'll try and hopefully find a program that works this year and try and kind of stick with it next year, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds like a winner,
Yep. I mean...
So, I just want to thank our sponsors that we have, Hills Automotive is a good one, CPI, all them guys that come up there to Burlington. The Gricks, they put a lot of time in up there and do stuff for the show. And I just want to thank you guys for coming out and doing what you do. And if there's ever anything that we can do for you guys or the fans or any input that might make it better, we're all ears. It's about growing pulling. So.
Yeah, hey, I mean, it's an awesome year. Glad for all the sponsors helping out. It's just awesome when everybody comes together in a weird year like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, John, I'm going to wish you luck at Weaklands here. I know Curvin especially. You beat your good pal there.
Thank you.
He's gonna be gunning for you now. And,
yeah, well, I know that.
Any sponsors you would like to mention on your truck or anything?
No, not really. Pretty much me, myself, and I guess.
Yeah.
Caleb Herman and the guys at HT for, bringing it together for me. They put a lot of time into it this winter to, make sure it's on the up and up.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, yeah.
That's awesome. All right, well, just a shout out to you again for winning that Class Awesome Pass, first Duramax of the year.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on the show with me tonight. I appreciate it. I won't take up much more of your time because I know you're a busy man, John. I'd like to get you, if you have a chance and you want to get on the Turn in the Dirt live interviews, I'd be more than willing to sit down and chat with you. I'll probably be doing it around 1:30 on Saturday at Weaklands.
Okay, I'm not sure I'm going to be there quite that early, but hey, give me a shout sometime when you see me walking around there.
All right, sounds good. We'll definitely try to get something done, and I just want to thank you again for your time.
Appreciate it.
All right, this is Robert Ortley with Turn in the Dirt, and we'll talk to you guys later.